What's poppin', y'all? Today we're gonna be talking about Mr. Beast giving away $30 million in free food. So it looks like he's tackling food insecurity on his philanthropy page today. And as someone who has a little bit of experience in food insecurity through research, through working in food pantries and all that, this is something I feel like I have more knowledge about than the average Joe, and so I'm gonna get my own opinion on it.
Let me explain.
241 million tons of food is produced in the USA every year. And what is frightening is that more than 1/3 of it goes to waste.
Yep.
This means that 150
like literally saw a family yesterday throw away a whole half box of pizza because it was too cold or something, and that could have went to like some family and stuff that really needed it. As well as the fact a lot of companies, rather than trying to pay the cost to redistribute it and give it back to a nonprofit charity or whatever, probably gets tax benefit off of it, they rather just let it go to waste and let it rather just throw away. Prime examples that was that get those gallons of milk that was wasted during the pandemic. Let's continue with his story.
Hit in my stomach thinking about all of those meals going to waste. I decided to swipe out all those meals and put them in the back of my car. An entire car filled with leftover meal swipes. This is all going to go to feed homeless people today all throughout Philadelphia. This may be the only meal that they have that day. It took me a couple of years to kind of build up this momentum. Everyone became a part of it. I kind of had that first inkling of this could be something that a lot of other people
I remember
want to
this
join on
story
to as well.
This was the start of Evan's organization, Sharing Excess, whose mission is to rescue and collect food that would otherwise go to waste and redistribute it for free to people in need all around Philadelphia.
Behind me is our first warehouse.
Yeah.
It used to be a
and to really just go deeper into this, I'm not trying to bust anybody's bubble. Like, my videos is not to bust anybody's bubble, but we need to have a serious conversation about this, especially when it comes to food insecurity, since it's very complex and very it affects a lot of people than you may think. His solution, or his quote-unquote solution, it's good. It's like a good intermediary band-aid thing you can fix, where in a short term you can give people food that they might not have had, and making sure that they're healthy, make sure they got something to eat and make sure they're good. But at the end of the day, it doesn't fix the root causes of food insecurity. A lot of it is being money. Like, I know they were showing pictures of homeless people and all that, but there's a lot of people who are living in houses who like are working full time and all that, who are facing food insecurity. But a lot of their issues can be fixed if they got paid a livable wage. And basically the federal minimum wage that everyone has to follow, at least every state has to follow, basically is $7.25. Like, that is not a livable wage anymore, like, especially when you count into inflation with food, gas, and all that. And it's just one of those things where it's just, we can always give people free food. We can give people, redistributed food and all that. But at the end of the day, we have the ability to like actually fix food insecurity if we just pay people a livable wage. So that's just one aspect of it. In the day, this isn't a solution that they're trying to tout this to be, and it's only just 10 minutes in. Like, this isn't a sustainable solution because especially I don't know how it works now. I think he went away from just like doing the swipes to now more just being about actually redistributing food. Like, it comes with policy, it comes with things that intersects with food, like money, like I just said. Housing is a good portion of it. We need to fix the housing market right now because it's just out of control. It makes no sense why you can get a 1x1 and you have to pay like $2,000 for it, and like it's not even more than like 400 square feet. It's just a lot of things that you need to like really like fix in order to like look at food insecurity that Evan is not looking at, and that is not his job. He just wants to set out to get free food. I'm not knocking him or Jimmy for it, but at the end of the day, we need to start actually thinking about structural issues.
But the cost of maintaining this operation became extremely expensive and nearly impossible for Evan and his small team to sustain alone.
There's no money in this. I have to figure out a way to pay rent, put food on the table for myself, even if my dream is to put food on the tables of everyone else. All of this work just goes for nothing, and I have to start all over again.
And this is
that's where we reached out to be.
So this is, herein lies the problem with charity work. Like, charity work is not profitable. Like, and the thing about with charity, relies on other people trying to be charitable and good, and not really like the powers that be to actually be charitable and good. Like it shifts the responsibility from like actual government actors who can have way more political and like economic influence over these issues, and shift it on to average everyday Joes like Evan, and trying to get them to like do the work and pat them on the back without giving them any systematic support for it. And so pretty much that's why I always say, and that's why I'm like very like critiquing this, Mr. Beast and a lot of his charitable work, because yes, he has enough money to do it. Yes, he has, like, he's making a killing off it. And like, I'm glad, he's one of the very few millionaires who actually put his money to good use. But at the end of the day, let's say that money dries up, how else will those other things will get, taken care of? I know the video I'm about to react to is his like well water video. And the thing about well waters is you just can't plop up a well water and just like, expect to go good. There's like ongoing maintenance. There's ongoing things that needs to be, considered fact, and like ongoing management that, that the lights camera action does not cover. And it's one of those things where it's just like, I think charity should be, spearheading any like innovative work. Not the fact that I don't think charities are bad or inherently evil. Like, I work at a food bank, but at the end of the day, it's just, charities can only do so much with so little stuff they are given, to the point where it's just like, if they fail, then who's gonna fill that gap in space? And that's one of the points I want to bring up when I'm like, talking about this video.
At this distribution center, Sharing Excess have just rescued over 14 million pounds of food at this facility alone and redistributed it to communities in neighboring states. However, Evan had his sights set on a much bigger goal, so we took on our biggest feat yet, helping Sharing Excess acquire
Hunts Point Produce Market, the largest produce market in the world in New York City. And that operation is going to be 3 times larger than the one that we have in Philly.
So Darren and Evan traveled to New York to officially open their distribution at Hunts Point.
All right, Darren, it's taken us a long time, but we're finally here.
So basically,
let's go.
Yeah, so basically what they did, they basically purchased like a distribution site where food is being, made, as well as like they partner with local distributors to like save, undesirable produce that, they were going to throw in the landfill anyway. So my main question is, so they just purchased the distribution site, or how did I need to see the other framework, how to get into partners, because in order to redistribute food, you just can't open a site and just be like, okay, I'm open business, like come to me. You have to make partnerships. Like for the food pantry I work at, we had to make a partnership for the Houston Food Bank. And so it's one of those things where it's just, we had to make an active partnership. We gotta like, do the legal side of things and all that. And so I'm just trying to figure out like how did they do it? Did they already have existing partners based in New York, or they were doing it? And I'm not trying to be skeptical. I'm not trying to be skeptical. This is a good thing. Let me just get that straight. This is a good thing. I'm not trying to be, a Debbie Downer. I'm just trying to think about what, they did to be able to do this big operation, because just like, it's more than just like opening like a whole warehouse.
In the time it has taken you to watch this video, 280 pounds of food has already been rescued by Beast Philanthropy and Sharing Excess. It is because of that we are able to continue to support
organizations. So is it like an ongoing partnership? We can keep the sap. We can get rid of the sappy music right now. So is it like an ongoing partnership, or is it just like, did they just purchase the warehouse? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Of course, here's the donate for a chance to win a year's supply. Yeah, he definitely gotta get the brand in there somehow. I mean, can't blame him. So basically, this is their website. They're technically a food rescuing nonprofit. Basically, what that means, they basically find food that's about to go bad, perishable, and all that, and basically they redistribute them to like communities that need them. So they do it in a number of ways. Basically, they do it from grocery stores. They basically pick up the food and haul it back to the center to be able to redistribute it. They do it through wholesale rescue. They work with wholesale food wholesalers to clean, distribute surplus food to local food banks and hundreds of community organizations. And through a network of transportation partners like Warp and Uber, they seamlessly connect surplus from farms, manufacturers, and distribution centers to food banks nationwide. So basically what Mr. B, he basically bought that distribution center basically. So any surplus food that goes in there, they're probably coming out. Now the reason why a lot of businesses and stuff don't do it on their own is because it's very much expensive to logistically, you know, transport, tackle, and just basically coordinate all that. And especially for small businesses. And so this is where they step in. Basically, they handle all the logistical stuff. They just want the food from you. And so basically, you know, they're acting as a middleman to just kind of like, you know, sort out and redistribute all this. So like I said, this is definitely an innovative solution. This started with him in college, donated all his unused meals, basically his excess meals to the local food banks or to the local, you know, kind of like, you know, food insecurity population. And so, yeah, like I said, I don't have a problem with this solution. I think what he's doing is a good thing and it needs to show what we need to do. But I'm thinking about the long-term systematic issues of it. Like, you know, is he able to keep this up? You know, let's say we have another, you know, roving pandemic. Is he able to keep this up? Is he able to invest more in that? Will operations have to shut down? As well as the fact that food insecurity affects 50 states. Like he's only tackling, like, I think he said 19 states. And, you know, whereas like 50 states need to like really take care of this because food insecurity is a major problem, especially in urban communities, as well as like, you know, communities that are very much, you know, far out there, rural and like hard to reach. And so here's a lot of the thing with this, you know, Sharon Express and Evan, like the work they're doing is good. It is phenomenal. I agree with it. It needs to be done. I just don't agree that it should be left up to him or Mr. Beast to come in and do it. It needs to be already put into a systematic approach. And the same thing relies in food banks. Like, I don't think food banks, you know, should be operating as their own nonprofits. I think they should be operating in the system by the government and investing into them to actually do it. And quite honestly, you know, food banks wouldn't even exist or Sharon Express wouldn't even exist if people have livable wages to be able to take care of food and be able to get food and all that. And as well as we have a broader, you know, food distribution system where it's just like, you know, food wouldn't just go out to be wasted, especially by, you know, corporations and, you know, just other like distribution, you know, catastrophes and all that. So that's my only qualm about the situation. I don't think I'm just totally just hating on the guy. I'm not. But I think, you know, practically, like if there was like another downturn in the near future, you know, how would they react? Like they wouldn't be standing, and it's just like he's already barely making ends meet on his own self. You know, how can we better like have a better like broader bigger picture solution to this where we can actually make sure people are investing in, people are getting food and all that. So that's my only comment about the situation, but other than that, it's a good thing. I like the video. I think this is like a very big issue like in America, especially not only just food insecurity but like food just being wasted, that I think they're solving. So with that being said, that has been my reaction today. So if you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you like this reaction. You want to see my other reaction I did the other day, please do that. But other than that, stay warm, stay frosty, depending on what part of the country you're in, and peace out.